This podcast is brought to you by Paramount Plus and by Literature and Lingerie.
The Final Frontier podcast. These are the voyages of Jake Boger and Justin Spur. Our weekly mission: to explore memories of Star Trek's strange new worlds, to recall the search for new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has had the spare time to go before. Are your phasers set to fun?
Absolutely.
Welcome, everyone, to the Final Frontier podcast. And I gotta say, I'm liking my new lighting situation because now my uniform looks the appropriate level of gold.
Yeah, I know. I need to. That's my next step. I need to work on my lighting situation. Maybe another ring light.
You're pure, absolute pure dumb luck because it was a bit more mustardy. And here's the thing: the truth is, it actually is, but this lighting makes it look like it does in the show. So
It does.
I'm kind of stoked about that. But we are not here to talk about my color accurate uniform. We are here to talk about Star Trek, the original series, season 2, episode 12, Obsession. And
Sesh.
this one's a roller coaster.
A little bit. I had some fun.
I had some fun. I
I
also had some emotional whiplash because, like, there's a moment where it just does a complete 180, and you're like, "Whoa, okay."
yeah, yeah. The ending. I will say expectations were subverted.
They more than once, but this episode takes place during stardates 3619.2 and 3620.7. The in-universe date, we have traveled back to the future to the year 2268,
Okay.
and the original air date for this episode is December 15th, 1967. This episode is written by Art Wallace and directed by our very, very new good friend, Ralph Sinensky.
Ooh, Sinensky. Yes, yes. The guy the name you call out in frustration in a sitcom. Sinensky.
That you do. If you're not screaming Wheaton. Justin, would you like to grace us with, I can't wait to hear this. Would you like to grace us with the Paramount Plus description as brought to you by Paramount Plus?
Yeah, I would. Okay. So the Enterprise deals with a creature that feeds on blood. Jake, we're clearly dealing with a vampire.
Except we're not.
When has Kirk ever dealt with a vampire? Because it mentioned Kirk's history with this blood-sucking creature, and then I asked the question, will it be a sexy lady vampire? It was not. It
It
was
was
not
not.
sexy, nor was it a lady vampire.
However, it is very similar to another unconventionally sexy lady that we've seen recently.
Yeah. Yes, I will say that. I did make a comparison later on, but I was so sure that this was gonna be a case of like it's a vampire, but it's not technically a I was not. I was yeah. I fully was
Yeah,
thought I was gonna be like it's technically a vampire.
it's like it's like Morbius from I almost said Morpheus. It's like Morbius from the Spider-Man cartoon. Plasma.
I hunger for plasma. I took it through my hands. I could feel it coursing through his skin right into my fingers.
Plasma.
He's kind of a vampire, but censors
Because,
won't let him be a vampire.
and I was gonna say because this show is really censored, so characters can't die. Fun fact.
But our story begins with during a planetary survey of Argus 10 being conducted by a team from the USS Enterprise.
Wait, Before you go on, I want to take a guess. Tritanium fake.
Yes and no.
What? 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 Big choice. This was the first time I was confident. I was like, this is definitely yes and no. Wow. Did not see that coming.
So Star Trek
Continue.
titanium is fake. However, titanium in the real world is a highly porous titanium material used in advanced medical implants such as hip and knee replacements
Oh.
for better bone integration. The medical titanium mimics natural bone structure for improved fixation, while the fictional versions are prized for their extreme strength, flexibility, and heat resistance, which is not unlike titanium.
That's interesting. Yeah, was not expecting that to be one of those times where it's technically a real thing, but it's not the same thing.
Now, what I don't know and what I couldn't find is
Maybe.
if Star Trek's titanium came first and the medical one was. I'm willing to believe that the medical one was invented later, and this is one of the few times where I think we might have just had a happy accident on our hands.
I seems that way. Um, the they describe it as 20 times harder as diamond, obviously.
That's what she said?
Anyway, continue.
Uh, Captain Kirk smells a specific familiar odor and sends the three-man security team to find the source, ordering them to fire immediately if they see a gaseous creature. Okay, some rapid fire notes. First of all, Captain Kirk, he who smelt it dealt it.
Yeah.
Because
My favorite bit was when he looked around, he was like, my Kirk senses are tingling.
it was one step away from him being like, Spock, do you smell that? Yes, Captain, you had beans today for lunch. But also, there's just a moment, and because I'm a child at heart, does Shatner love the smell of his own farts because he describes the strange odor as.
A sweet odor like honey.
That's funny.
And Kirk, you have just sentenced these men to death. What are you thinking?
I mean, I like the effect of the smoke retreating. That was really cool how they reversed the footage. I thought that was kind of neat. I thought for sure, I was so sure it was going to turn out to be a woman. Like I was just positive it was going to turn out to be a lady vampire, like a woman, like at least a woman alien of some sort. Was not expecting it to be a cloud.
Yeah, we've not seen enough female aliens as of late. They need to make a
No,
comeback.
no, we have not.
But as the story continues, a being appears and attacks two of the members of the security team, but Ensign Rizzo disobeys Kirk's order and does not fire his phaser. Even as Kirk again orders Rizzo to fire, he just stands there and is also attacked. Let's get that counter out, baby. Also, I couldn't help but think, again, because I'm a child, that Cloud likes it rough. It's
I
different
just,
from the other Cloud. The other Cloud preferred a soft, more sensual style of lovemaking. This Cloud,
I mean, I have a note later on that this cloud is a fighter, not a lover, as compared to the previous cloud, which was lover, not a fighter. My first note on the red shirts was when there was that circle of them. I was just like, how many of those red shirts are gonna go down?
looks oddly like a
Um,
target.
and then my question was, did Kirk also a cloud? No, he did not.
No, but I think Kirk may have been by a Cloud.
Oh, I'm so happy. See, I was hoping if I set you up for that, you would do that because I was like, I was about towards the end of the episode, I was like, Kirk did not this cloud, but that cloud arguably Kirk. I'm just again
And
sharing the
and
same wavelength. It's great.
and all of his and many of his friends.
I fed it to you psychically. I was like, come on, Jake, you got this.
Not unlike the Cloud.
Not unlike the cloud.
But Rizzo is in fact not dead. He is the lone survivor, even though the shot makes you think he's dead. So rewind the timer. Just one though. It's like resetting
Just
the
one.
play clock.
Gotta bring it back just once. Just once.
However, Rizzo dies in sick bay after being returned to the ship. God. Okay, re-hit it.
Bring that. Get it. There we go. That's better. That's better.
This actually works with the theme of this episode. It's a very whiplashy episode.
Definite. It definitely is.
It
I
zigs
mean,
when you think it's going to zag, and it zags when you think it's going to zig, and it's very jarring.
I have to mention that cordrazine is a hell of a drug.
Give me 1 cc of cordrazine, nurse.
Yes, sir.
And then I ask the question, is that man about to go on a trip? And then as I make that joke, now that we know he dies, that feels in poor taste.
In a way,
He did go on a
um,
trip.
but funnily enough, I had the exact same note. Cordrazine is a hell of a drug.
Cordrazine is a hell of a drug.
Some fun fact, though, Jerry Ayers, who plays Rizzo in this episode and is killed by the cloud creature, also plays Ensign O'Herlihy in the episode Arena, another doomed redshirt character. And he had
Oh.
his hair dyed lighter in this episode to lessen the resemblance.
Oh, interesting.
He's the guy who goes, Captain, I see something. Arr!
That's funny. Ah, interesting. Okay.
And Justin, you may be asking yourself,
Dicuronium.
is that a real thing, Justin? Did you find yourself asking that question?
I mean, I'm always asking myself that question, is this a real thing? And I'm guessing it's not. Just because
This one
I'm
is
gonna be
this
over
one
to-
is not. This is some Star
No.
Trek bull.
I had a feeling. The more fanciful and like scientific it sounds, I find, the more likely it's not a real. But no, that's also not. It's hard because, like, you're right. Sometimes it's a self-fulfilling thing where it is a real thing, but only because it's based off of the Star Trek thing. So it's hard to tell sometimes.
Now, I found myself asking yet another question is what the hell is a red corpuscle?
That's a fair question. What
It's
is a red?
just it's just an old-fashioned name for red blood cell
Oh,
that they're for
interesting.
some reason using in the 23rd century
Because 1960s.
because 1960s.
Because 1960s.
Dr. McCoy determines in his autopsy that the blood of all three victims had been drained of hemoglobin. There's a moment where Rizzo's in sickbay, and I think it's Dr. McCoy, but it might have been Chapel who says, well, he lost 60% of his hemoglobin. And I instantly thought, I'm like, if you lost 60% of the hemoglobin in your body, wouldn't you know, be dead?
Yes. Isn't that why but he does die pretty immediately
He
after
does.
that, though,
Well, so
doesn't he?
funnily enough, Star Trek's they're stretching, but they're not way off base here.
No.
So it would absolutely kill you without massive medical intervention, and even after that, death is still likely.
That was one of the things I appreciated about this episode was how, because it isn't he, oh my God, my 11th grade biology is coming out. Isn't hemoglobin the thing that makes it turn red when it comes
Correct.
when
Yeah,
it
that's the pigment. That's where the pigment comes from. It's not just the
so
pigment, but
I appreciated the attention to detail that maybe perhaps part of the reason why Spock's blood is green is less hemoglobin.
it's
I
no
thought that was
hemoglobin
interesting.
actually.
Oh no, I
But
see,
we'll get there. This episode does not say that. This episode
oh,
says the
okay.
opposite. However, Bill Nye's going to come out later. Fearing the killer to be a gaseous entity that he had encountered 11 years before while serving aboard the USS Farragut, Kirk neglects a rendezvous to deliver an antiviral drug for Theta 7 to the USS Yorktown to hunt for the creature instead. This seems incredibly irresponsible, Captain Kirk. And before anybody attacks me in the comments, this episode in particular, I kept all my notes because things change in this episode, but I kept them all because as we're going, this is very much how the episode frames it. Like
I'm in a little bit, yeah.
Kirk is acting completely irrational. He does end up turning out to be correct, but he didn't
Luckily,
know that at the time. Yeah, I was like really lucky.
I have a note
Um,
that's just Captain Farquaad here is like,
Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I am willing to make.
and you may be wondering, Justin and the audience, Kirk specifically was a phaser control officer aboard the Farragut with the rank of lieutenant, which we will see later in Star Trek Strange New Worlds. That is how he is introduced in the series.
oh, interesting. Okay, that's interesting. That makes sense. He obviously would not have started off as a captain. That does make
No.
a
So he
ton of
starts off.
sense.
The USS Farragut was Kirk's first deep space mission, though, and was named the ship was named after a real person, David Glasgow Farragut, a flag officer in the United States Navy during the American Civil War. He was the very first Rear Admiral, Vice Admiral, and Admiral in the United States Navy and is credited for uttering the phrase, "Damn the torpedoes," and "full speed ahead."
Oh. Interesting. Those are, I mean, those are well known.
And
God,
somebody was off to the side and they're like, "Oh, that's cool."
that's such a cool line. I gotta remember that.
It's like what
Pretty
Zap
iconic.
Brannigan tries to do.
What's the matter, Private? Tent got your tongue? Tent got you. Kiff, write that down and send it to Humor in Uniform.
But
Right,
never
right.
does.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think that guy intentionally tried to be cool. He just wound up being cool.
But that's what
What
being
makes it
cool
cool.
is. Like,
It's
yeah,
effort.
you're not trying to be cool. If you're trying to be cool, that's cringe as hell.
That's not cool. You can't try to be cool. You can
You
only
just
be
are.
cool.
Yeah, you can
You
just
just
be
are
cool. Like the fonts.
Exactly. Exactly. Like not all of us can smack a jukebox and start the music.
Doesn't Potsy do it once?
I gotta be honest with you. I think I've maybe seen like one episode of Happy Days, and it's the one where he jumps a shark, and I'm told that's bad for some reason.
That's where the phrase "jump the shark" comes from.
I know I'm being facetious. No, I don't think I've seen a single episode of. My dad really liked Happy Days for some reason.
Happy Days is a really good show. It's
The only reason it is a good show. It is a good show. When they smell the smell, I think it's before Fitz, like the red shirt dies in sick bay, and they all have a look on their face that it was a strange smell, a smelly smell, the kind of smell that smells smelly. That is, of course, a SpongeBob reference because we gotta hit every corner of pop culture here on the Final Frontier. And this was the point I was still fairly convinced it was a vampire.
While the Enterprise crew fails to find the creature using shipboard sensors, Kirk sends a second landing party with 5 security officers and himself, again warning the men to fire full phaser power if they see the creature. I had a feeling at this moment that we're going to need more body bags. It seems like a tremendously horrible idea.
I just okay, going into this entire thing. Wait, have we introduced the new guy? Yeah, we did. We introduced the new
Yes.
guy, right? Yeah. I just my first note on the new guy is who is this new character that is seemingly has a pre-established relationship with Kirk? I'm sure he'll be totally safe with that big red target on his chest. And then
Well,
I
not
just was
only
like,
that, Justin, this is a character that is written for this episode, so you know he's going to make it.
he's definitely gonna make it. And then just a note of why is Kirk being unnecessarily cagey and difficult? This isn't even the first fart they've dealt with.
I
Unless it
literally
is the
haven't.
first start they felt
Yeah.
with.
No, this is the next year. It's not a year later, but it's the following year.
So exactly.
Yeah, so I have a note that says this is not the first non-carbon based life form or the first cloud life form we have encountered. And I just now realized how funny it is that we named the other cloud Fart in the other episode because this one smells.
I'm just saying it does the same thing. It drains you. Sure, it drains a different fluid, but it drains you nonetheless.
A fluid is nonetheless drained.
Drained. I'm just saying it's like they could almost be like distant cousins, almost. You know, worse.
Yeah,
Like
one drinks your blood and the other one snooze.
like one is a questionable fart. We all know what a questionable fart is.
Well, I think we may have definitions of questionable farts.
I don't want to define
Well,
what a
no,
questionable
actually,
fart
no.
is.
Fart number one does eventually become solid. So
I'm just
it is in
saying.
fact a questionable fart.
And then just as Kirk leads
We're
these,
12.
we're
Sorry,
12. We're
everyone.
absolutely 11 at the. And then just a note. Okay, there. Oh, okay, there, Ahab. Maybe don't recklessly get more men killed.
No, and there's a. It's actually at the end, but this is another episode that was, and this time he said it like this is very much a Moby Dick reference.
Absolutely is.
There's no way you could make that argument.
I called him Captain Ahab several times.
He's behaving like Captain Ahab, but
He
then
very much is.
there's a turn, and it's like this is what it would be like if Captain Ahab had been right all along,
I mean,
which completely negates the point of Moby Dick.
a little bit. It does completely undercut the point of Moby Dick.
Like if we
Let's be
had found out that the white whale had actually acquired a taste for human flesh,
right,
then
right.
Ahab would have been like, "I told y'all."
I'm just saying he wants to eat people. I need him for his sweet, sweet oil.
The other question I had is why is an ensign the security officer? Because he's not a security officer, he's the security officer.
Because he's the guest star of the episode, Jake.
I know, but give him lieutenant.
Yeah, it's true.
Like
That
he's
is
the head
true.
of a department. Now, I will say he's not called the chief of security, so I don't think he's in charge, but I don't really know what he should be, but he should be at the bottom of the pecking order.
I mean, considering it's his first day. Kirk is like, first day, huh? Yeah, I'm gonna be an immediate to you. Just so you know.
This time, Garavik does fire as ordered, but only after hesitating when the creature attacks. I don't like the wording there because that makes it sound like Garavik is the one who didn't fire before, and that's not the case. This is the first time
No.
he was supposed to fire, and he did, but after he very understandably is like, what the is that?
Oh my god, it's a cloud!
And I felt kind of smart in this moment because when he hesitated and Kirk's giving him a bad time, I'm like, yeah, but it's a cloud. Like, wouldn't the phaser just go right through it?
Oh, you would think the phaser
Presumably.
would just go right through it. You would think.
I mean, maybe. The creature attacks the security team and drains the hemoglobin out of 2 more crew members, the others being with Captain Kirk. Oh
I
man,
just
the counter's getting a workout this episode. Dang it!
Dang it! I mean, I just the entire time, just the song "Another One Bites the Dust." I don't think we can afford that song. Just kept playing, but bum bum. Another one bites the dust. That's
That
it.
would
That's what
have
we can
been.
afford.
Dang it! That would have been a good idea to do from the beginning.
Another goes down. Another goes down. Another one bites the dust.
Well, we've just introduced another running gag that I have to now add to the counter.
Another one bites the dust.
Be
I
in
think
our
it was just because the
subsequent.
sheer amount of them this episode. That's where it popped into my head. Bloodbath.
Yeah, and then I also said, finally, somebody shot the damn thing.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it did nothing,
It
but
did
they did
absolutely
it.
nothing, but the action was done.
The action was done.
I mean, you do eventually get to a point where it's like, why are they even bothering shooting at Godzilla?
It's true. I mean, yeah, there's only so many times Godzilla can walk through tanks before it starts to be boring. That's all I'm saying.
Well, and I mean, at a certain point, you're just wasting ammo. Like, there are people you can use those bullets on.
It's true. Just spend your money on a big mecha Godzilla. That's where you
Well,
need to
I
spend
mean,
the
that
money.
that probably worked out the best, but still didn't work. But anyway, Justin, it is time to let the people know about the greatest streaming service in the entire galaxy.
It's true. It's true. It's where you can
I mean,
set your
Paramount
phasers to
Plus.
fun. Paramount
That
Plus.
was a
It's Paramount
joke. That
Plus.
was a joke because it actually is Paramount Plus. And you mentioned SpongeBob earlier, so this is a fantastic time to let the people know that in addition to all of Star Trek, in addition to incredible movies such as Silence, which we talked about on not the latest episode of the Average Intelligence podcast for you guys, as of the time of recording, it was, but on a previous episode of the Average Intelligence podcast, and I gotta say, my co-host surprised me on that one. I did not think that was going to go the direction it did. Pleasantly surprised.
Oh,
But
oh.
you can also get your SpongeBob SquarePants.
I'm pretty sure there's a new movie that may or may not be on Paramount Plus by the time this airs.
I don't know if it's on yet, but it definitely is. But Paramount really wants us to sell you guys on Star Trek Starfleet Academy. So we're going to show you the trailer one more time. Actually, I think this one's a new one that they released that shows Becky Lynch in it.
I've heard good things about it.
I gotta say, my initial reaction to the trailer, I was like, eh. But now that I've seen more of it, I'm kind of
It's making
stoked.
making the people on Twitter angry, and that just automatically makes me want to watch it.
Here's the thing, though. Every time there's a new Star Trek, people get angry.
They're
And
like,
they
it's too
shouldn't.
woke or whatever, and it's like, but that's just Star Trek.
That's just Star Trek. But anyway, here is a sneak peek at Star Trek Starfleet Academy. I almost said Lower Decks.
Star Trek, the new one.
The new one, Star Trek, the new one.
Caleb. What's that one? Right there. Right there. One day, when we have our own ship, we are going to go visit I first, that's right.
Bye-bye, Mommy!
I love you! I'm so sorry.
You hold on to how much you hate me right now, kid. It'll keep you warm at night.
Find him!
Portal breach.
Caleb, I've been looking for you every single day for the last 15 years. Come with me to Starfleet Academy. The Federation will help you find your mother.
That thing is taking us to the school?
That is the school.
Being a cadet in Starfleet Academy means being open to the people around you.
I'm Sam. Sometimes I feel invisible, but mostly awkward.
Let's go! Show me you're worthy of this uniform!
I want to be captain. I need to be captain.
My family, you're either the center of the universe or you're nothing.
A warrior does not let a friend face danger alone.
I've spent my whole life getting away from stuff, letting someone in. It's hard.
If I lose control, I can hurt people.
Doesn't scare me.
I'll owe you something. It is coming with a big red bow just for you.
Is anybody listening?
Man, why does everything have to be a full-on lesson in this place?
Because it's a school, Caleb. It's time for you to stop telling the story. Be a part of it.
When Kirk learns that Garrovick hesitated to fire his phaser at the creature, he relieves the ensign of his duties and confines him to quarters. And it is at this moment when he flops onto his bed, the moment of Spider-Man 3
Gonna cry?
popped into my head.
Yes. I didn't even think about it. I mean, I number one, when Kirk was basically interrogating this poor man, I was like, what is this, the Spanish Inquisition? Because obviously no one expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Our chief weapon is surprise. Surprise and fear. Fear and surprise. Our two weapons are fear and surprise.
Well,
And,
it is quite a show.
It is quite a show. And then Kirk is being a real dictator about this. Notice how I added the tater.
He's being a bit of a dictator as well, because all of his senior staff were like, Captain, we could really not be doing this. And he's like, no, we're going to do it anyway because I say so.
Wow,
Which is very
that's-
frustrating because he later turns out to be completely right about it.
I'm gonna do it whether the crew likes it or not.
To be honest, your compliance isn't a factor.
Your consent in this situation is optional. Ooh, wow, that feels oddly relevant. They're gonna become part of the Federation whether they want to or not. Whoa, that's not what this is.
Well, Justin, that cloud clearly needs some freedom.
Need some good old fashioned space freedom.
Dr. McCoy, having reviewed the records of Kirk's previous encounter, confronts the captain over his obsession with the gaseous dicuronium creature. As a young lieutenant, Kirk had hesitated in firing his own phaser at the creature, which subsequently killed half of the Farragut crew, including the captain, Garrovick's father, who was Kirk's first service commander. Though given a commendation for bravery, Kirk continues to blame himself for their deaths. This is where I said, did the cloud crawl up Kirk's butt? Because it seems like it.
I mean, it sounds like he's not getting drained by the correct. Oh my god! Sounds like he's not getting drained by the correct cloud. Wow, that was a tongue twister and a half. Correct cloud.
Correct cloud. Drained by the correct cloud.
Drained by the correct cloud.
Tip of the tongue.
This is where they. I think this is where they introduced the trolley dilemma, right? Kirk can either save the people with the medicine, or he can stop the cloud, or he can, or what appeared to be a trolley dilemma anyway.
It's trolley problem adjacent because it is assuming that they're not going to be able to. It's not a question of a binary choice. It's a question of prioritization.
Yeah,
They
true.
can theoretically do both. It just depends on how long this whole cloud is going to take.
This whole cloud nonsense is gonna take. So they could do two, they just can't do three, I guess is maybe.
I did take out one note because this is the exact moment here where you're right. They established the space trolley problem. Where I
For lack of a
said,
better word.
yeah, where I said, well, why can't you just rendezvous with the Yorktown and then come back to the planet? What I didn't click is that this wasn't the same planet that Kirk encountered it before.
Right. So that well, I think yeah, Kirk is concerned that it's gonna planet hop, I think, or that's following him, I guess. Yeah,
Well,
that does make sense.
so basically what you're saying is that this cloud gets around.
It gets around. It gets around. Look, the previous cloud was monogamous. This
Yes,
cloud gets around town.
it gets around the galaxy. This cloud is cloud is a space hoe.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, it's not its fault. It's fluffy. Fluffy cloud.
Chekhov interrupts a discussion being held by Spock and McCoy with Kirk in his quarters concerning his obsession with the creature to report that the cloud creature is moving away from the planet. And this is the real oh shit moment because this is the moment where everything flips.
A
And
little
it's
bit,
like,
yeah.
oh, Kirk is obsessive and crazy, and then in that one instance it's like nope,
Oh,
he's 100% right.
you're referring to the scene between him, Spock, and McCoy?
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. I would love to break this scene down because I thoroughly enjoyed this scene. I mean, number one, first note going into it, seriously, calm down, Captain Ahab. I will say the one scene, and you know me, I don't like criticizing the writing, but the scene where Spock hands Bones the drive and be like, you should
Uh-huh.
study these drives to find out Kirk's tragic backstory. That scene felt redundant. It was already apparent that the kid was of the previous incident. We didn't need Spock to tell McCoy details that maybe that's my 2025 television sensibilities kicking in, being like, it's showing enough. It doesn't need to tell me. Like
Well,
I got it. I got the
speaking of telling, I had a thought about that scene as well because when Spock hands it to him, I'm like, or you could just save your both of you a lot of time and just tell him
exactly. Yeah, it just felt like
what's in
a
there.
redundant conversation just to convey
Well,
information that
the conversation would have made sense if Spock had just told him, but it's a
yeah.
weird scene because he's like, you should really read this thing that I've already read and could absolutely tell you in a condensed version what happened. But no, I'm going to make you read it when you're clearly busy dealing with a literal pile of dead
Just a
bodies.
pile of bodies. Yeah, he's like, "Hey man, I know you're busy, but like, come on. You
Take a
want to take
couple
this
minutes
time?"
out to read.
Right? There's a bit earlier where Kirk accuses them of conspiring against him, and he's like, I'm sorry, you would never conspire against me."
No,
And then I just
actually,
love how they,
he says, maybe I shouldn't have used the word conspire.
yeah.
He's like
And
real
then,
sassy about it.
yeah, and then so I just have a note that says, "Oh snap, they really did conspire against him." When Bones confronts him, and then the door opens and Spock enters, and
Like he
I
was
just heard,
waiting, like he
well,
was on cue.
I heard soap opera style pipe organ music. Da-da! I was like, Kirk is like, et tu, Spock? And you?
That is very much. Oh well, now we have to debut a new segment, the Star Trek soap opera moment.
So Star Trek soap opera. I was like, not you, Spock. I was just waiting for him to slap him and be like, pourquoi?
There's a witness of command grade.
Did Spock slap a woman before in the show?
I'm pretty sure he has. Pretty sure he has.
Oh no, he slaps Nate in the first episode with like the color scheme. Episode 3, the man trap. Spock
Pretty sure,
totally
yeah.
beats a woman.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
It's not really a woman, but it looks like a woman.
It sure looks like one.
And it's
That
also and that one's a salt sucking vampire.
is true. And
I'm
that in 2025.
seeing a real, recycled plot here.
He's got a thing for vampires.
I have to walk
Vampire.
everybody through what was going on in my mind because I have 3 consecutive notes that were taken in real time. So they are as follows. No, Kirk, you don't have the right to put the entire ship and the other planet in jeopardy to hunt your cloud nemesis. Yes, Kirk, you have made an irrational decision. And then immediately, Kirk has a point again when the creature leaves the planet. Kind of don't want to admit Kirk was right, but the facts are the facts.
I mean, it's yeah. I loved again. Just to summarize the whole bit. I love the fact that it's just three emotionally mature guys just talking out, solving a problem with words, without violence, without fighting. They solve it. Everyone makes reasonable points. Kirk is like, you're right. You're right, guys. You are making very valid points, and then the guy's like, you know what, Kirk, you're also making very valid points, and they just have a rational discussion. And I said, no wonder the ladies found this hot.
And it all gets flipped on its head, and Kirk's like, he's like, suck it, I was right.
I was right the whole time. The ladies love an emotionally mature man.
The Enterprise chases the creature at its maximum warp 8, but then reduces to warp 6 at Scotty's request. Because he's like, Captain, we can't go on much longer.
I'm giving her all she got, Captain.
And what she's got is warp 8, but then reduces to warp 6 until the cloud turns around and advances on the ship. Kirk orders phasers and photon torpedoes fired on the cloud, neither of which have any effect. The creature then passes through the shields and into the ship's ventilation system. Spock points out to Kirk that since the creature cannot be harmed by conventional weapons, the captain has nothing to regret about his earlier encounter, and neither has Garrovick. Determined to combat this illogical human guilt reaction, Spock tries to convince Garrovick he did nothing wrong either when the creature emerges through a damaged vent in Garrovick's room that. This is so stupid. So Spock's literally sitting there telling him, you did nothing wrong, when the whole reason the vent is open in the first place is because Garrovick screwed up again.
He threw the food at the vent.
He threw a world-class hissy fit and opened the vent.
Threw the food right at the vent. I to be fair though, I quite like the scene between him and Nurse Chapel.
It was fun. It was fun.
Nurse Chapel Roan.
No, it's a good little scene, and it shows that Chapel is, because usually Chapel has I don't mean this in a sexist way, but she has more of a subservient role to Dr. McCoy. She's usually like more of a medical gopher and assistant, and this one she gets to show. Well, she's a nurse. I mean, and that's not a gender field, but like
no,
I was gonna say
she's usually bringing a person, a thing kind of character. I get what you mean.
Yeah, but this way she gets to, as she says, work some psychology.
I had a note that was just like, I like her. She's sassy. Why isn't she more of a character?
I agree. Like she has her moments.
I like her banter. She has really fun. Yeah, that really fun Star Trek sitcom moment. She's like, I tried a bit of psychology. She walks off. I enjoyed that.
What's that?
This?
A survey on simian respiratory diseases. I thought you took Garrovick some food. What were you doing with this?
Applying psychology.
I also enjoyed the bit when the cloud's chasing them. Every time it cuts back to the cloud, there's this intense violin musical sting. Just so you get, it's a really angry cloud. Cloud is so angry.
It is. It's a. Would you consider it a cumulonimbus cloud at that point?
I would.
Yeah.
That's the one that is a thunderstorm cloud, right?
Storm cloud. The black
storm
clouds.
Cloud didn't. Black clouds.
Well, not black clouds. Dark clouds.
Dark cloud.
We
But
have
this
to
is
be
where I
PC.
made the note that yes, this was where I made the note that the cloud is a fighter, not a lover, and just that is some bad luck.
Spock forces Garrovick to leave his quarters and tries to shut out the creature and is enveloped, but his copper-based green blood repels it. Realizing that neither he nor Garrovick could have harmed the creature, Kirk orders the ensign to return to duty. And there's a moment where they're like, why is it turning towards us? And I'm like, I would guess because you're chasing it. Maybe that's just me.
It's all that delicious, sweet hemoglobin. I can smell the sweet hemoglobin.
And then there's two things in these immediate scenes that I instantly went, that don't make no sense, because this thing can travel at warp 8 plus, and you think that changing a vent from blow to suck is gonna work.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm calling some BS there.
I mean, it's cloud, man. It's stopped by cloud's one weakness, a loose vent. My only weakness, an open vent.
Well, okay. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put on my amateur physicist hat for a moment here. Maybe it can travel at warp 8 in the vacuum of space because there is not an outside force acting upon it.
This is true. No gravity, no air.
Science rules.
No resistance?
No resistance. That does make sense. I know this isn't important, but in his chambers, what was the deal with the blinking red light? It was driving me crazy. I was like, what is that? Is that an alarm? What is it? Why is this
I didn't
light
even
keep
notice
blinking?
that.
It's in the background above his door as Spock's talking to him. It's just blinking incessantly. This red light.
Oh, I think that's the red alert.
Oh, is that the red
indicator.
alert? Oh,
I
okay.
think.
Oh, okay. So interesting. I didn't think this is such stupid. I didn't think that red alert was like literal.
Oh yeah, you'll see it. When the siren doesn't last forever because that's to let people know we're at red alert, but the lights stay blinking until they are no longer at red alert.
Oh, interesting. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Spock tanked that cloud like a champ.
That he did, but again, Spock cheats because of his Vulcan physiology.
Yeah, but I mean that's just a debuff. A buff? That's a buff.
Well, but speaking of that, this is the episode that establishes the fact that Vulcan blood is copper based, unlike human blood, which is iron based. And this is the science moment, and I felt really smart because I know that hemoglobin is iron based. That's where the color comes from, actually. Hemoglobin can't be copper based because then it's not hemoglobin anymore. Spock should know this as the ship's science officer.
Fact check. Boom. Smarter than Spock.
Science rules.
And also, that's a really weird way to say I'm sorry, Jim. He says everything but, hey, I might have been a little hard on you. I'm sorry.
Right?
And then this is where Kirk unveils his master plan and Garavik volunteers. And I go, so the young lieutenant shall sacrifice himself and will never be seen again. I saw it coming, man. I saw it coming.
You make me wanna.
Hello. Welcome to Wholesome Monday. Poetry Thursday. Wholesome Monday. Poetry Thursday. Welcome to literature. Sorry, wow. Say that 3 times 5. 3 times 5. 3 times 5. Fuck. My YouTube channel to accompany my Patreon. That sounds like I made my Patreon and then made my YouTube channel. Nix that. Okay, I'm gonna start over. Welcome to Literature and Lingerie, where we will mostly on YouTube be getting up to a lot of literature. Hit that subscribe button, and I think they say you should hit the bell, right? So that you're notified. No. I probably should have vetted that. I mean, it was 1888, so what do I expect? Edgar, what the hell? This strap.
The creature finally leaves the ship. Believing the creature is heading to the Tycho system to spawn, Kirk and Garavik beam down with an antimatter bomb. Justin, you may be asking yourself, what is a cobalt bomb? Because Garavik mentions it's more powerful than I forget how many, but
I did. I mean, I asked 2 questions. How powerful is 10,000 cobalt bombs? And then what is a cobalt bomb?
So a cobalt bomb is a theoretical nuclear doomsday device. It has never actually been invented, but suffice it to say that it's big boom, very big boom. Like planet.
Big boom.
Well, I'm gonna actually say I feel like this antimatter bomb is more powerful than 10,000 cobalt bombs. I kind of feel like that planet is toast.
No more. Bye planet. Bye planet.
One would think. With the creature about to envelop them, Kirk and Garavik beam away, and the bomb explodes, annihilating the entity. Now, I'm no physicist, but considering what antimatter is, and considering that this is in bomb form, I kind of feel like it would destroy even their scattered molecules.
It sort of feels like a bomb that powerful would probably cause damage to the spaceship that's right next to the planet.
Well, considering they make reference to how close the ship is,
So
like,
I'm just saying. Yeah, so okay, going into this last stretch, you're right. There was some whiplash with that character
some
because I was
horrible
like,
whiplash.
he's so expendable. He's deliciously expendable. So like anything can happen to him. So number one, when Kirk gave him the little pep talk, I was like, Kirk's a good captain. That was nice of him. He's a good
But yeah,
boss.
it was supposed to be tragic, and then when the guy judo chops Kirk, I thought that's when he was gonna like tell them to bring Kirk up, and he was gonna make sure and sacrifice himself. But then
I
Kirk's like, "I do the karate chopping here."
Well, I mean, when he volunteered to go down, I did the same thing, exact same thing you did, where I went, that guy's so dead, he just doesn't know it yet. And then, but when he skipped off, I was like, oh, so is this character gonna come back? Is he gonna be a reoccurring character? And then, yeah, then same deal when they were fighting each other. I was like, I thought for sure he was gonna judo chop Kirk, and then Kirk was gonna get teleported off, and then he didn't, and then they both got off together, and I was like, wow, this was hard to get a beat on. My expectations were definitely subverted. Kirk being able to read the creature's mind was dumb and convenient. This seemed like a convenient way to get them to the planet.
Like this is the moment. It's just like you laid out. This is the moment where I'm like, "Huh, the young guy made it.
I was
Good for
not
him."
expecting that.
I
I thought
was,
for
I
sure he
was
was gonna die. I
I
thought
was
for
absolutely
sure.
not expecting it. It's a subversion that I don't hate because this episode really ends on like a high note, but one that actually should be a high note. This is the first time where well, I mean, I guess there is a fairly large pile of dead bodies, but that was earlier.
Oh, forget
Like
about those guys. Who cares?
not immediately after.
They've already gone to the crematorium because
Yeah,
the Enterprise
exactly.
has a
Their
crematorium.
autopsies are done. They have breathed their last breath. They have done the last red shirt thing, which is die. Um,
See, if this were the modern Star Trek show that we're clearly gonna make, he'd come back one more time where he'd do a big hero and then he'd die in his third appearance.
well, he does come back, but not in the original series.
Really?
He comes back in Star Trek Prodigy. Not kind of. That episode reveals his fate after a shuttlecraft.
He died in a shuttlecraft explosion?
Apparently, in the episode "All the World's a Stage," explaining that
Hmm.
oh no, they need to get rid of that shuttlecraft. Apparently, he in a later mission on still on the Enterprise, he later crashed the Galileo.
No way. No, no, not the Galileo. Oh no. Decommissioned that bad boy yesterday. Oh no. Twice is too many. Three times is unacceptable. That is unacceptable. Put some money into the shuttlecraft budget, Starfleet. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Apparently, he crashes on the planet, and the
No.
natives of the planet are known as the Enderprisians or Enderprisians. They adopt Starfleet custom and Garavic's appearance, creating a unique cultural legacy for him. So it sounds like that episode of The Orville that did it
Yeah,
first. Fun fact too, this is the only episode that has a security guard as the central story, and that's probably why he makes it.
that makes sense.
But that kind of
That would
doesn't
make
make sense
sense.
because we've seen Commodores bite it, we've seen everybody bite it. The fact that a security guard makes it is just it's a one off. It's an anomaly. And considering the
Hey,
body count, it's even more surprising.
it's because of how close he was standing to Kirk. It was his proximity to
The
Kirk.
Kirk proximity, yep. That's again the red shirt in arena. The only reason he died is because he left Kirk's side.
I'm just saying, he was not within proximity. He did not have Kirk proximity.
This is also the second episode in a row in which Captain Kirk's capacity of commanding the Enterprise is questioned.
Yes, it
Happened in the
is.
previous episode as well. The
It
deadly
did.
is. Yeah, so we end on a 19 specifically a 90 sitcom moment where everything's resolved in 30-ish, 30 to 40 minutes, like
They have
everything's
40
honky
minutes.
dory.
Oh, Ensign, meet me in my quarters when you've cleaned up. I'd like to talk to you about your father. Several tall stories I think you'd like to hear.
Thank you, sir. I would.
when Kirk meant at the when they're setting up the big explosion. Number one, solid explosion.
It
That
was a
that looked
solid
like that.
explosion. That was good. That felt like some CGI replacement, though.
Oh, really? To me, that looked practical. It looked like it was set off with a little firework. I guess because I've been watching MythBusters lately, it looked like a fake Hollywood explosion. I don't know. Maybe it
Oh,
was
you know what?
CGI,
Now that you
but
maybe it was augmented. Now that you mention it, yeah, that did look mostly practical.
and then oh, just when Kirk's like I'm setting up, or I'm gonna be bait. I was like, Kirk is definitely a master baiter, obviously. And then just at the end of the episode, did Kirk flirt with this man? And then follow up question: did Kirk hook up with his dad? I'm just saying the way he emphasizes tall tales, it's a little suspect. Little suspect.
That's
Not
one I
not that
think
we're not judging. We listen and we don't judge.
that is one I think you're reading a little too much into. Kirk clearly idolized this man, but I don't know that I don't know that they
Hey, sometimes
I don't know
sometimes
that they touch tips ever.
fair. That's fair. It could be purely platonic,
Just like they had in Sparta.
just like they had in Sparta. Purely platonic male friendships.
That's what 300 would have you believe.
I'm gonna guess that they weren't super platonic based on the
Not even close.
based on the way you're looking directly into the camera.
That's okay.
On
That's
it.
legitimate. Like, here's the thing. I quick segue. I don't hold 300 up to a historical standard, but the moment where Leonidas calls the Athenians boy lovers, I'm just like,
Oh, Sparta.
fortunately, this is later corrected by Jared Butler when he did the SNL guest spot and they do the 300 skit where the Spartans are fighting for the Spartan army to repeal Don't Ask, Don't Tell. It's a great skit. It's
That's
so
fun.
funny because like the
That is
whole army
funny.
is basically like, yeah, we're gay. He's like, really? I had no idea. And then at one point he's like, so you've always been gay? They're like, yeah. And he's like, and all those times we had sex, he was like, yeah, I was gay then too.
I think I've seen this sketch.
It's
This
really
sounds
funny.
familiar.
Actually, Jared Butler's hosting, I forget what year it was. It's been a minute. His hosting appearance was actually quite good. It's one of the few times where and I got to say as somebody who was really critical of like contemporary SNL, they've been putting out some pretty solid ones. Like
I mean, they have
Ariana
actually.
Grande's host again, like virtually every skit was really funny.
Honestly, yeah, they've been. I've been having a few of their sketches pop up.
I think they got rid
My
of Tina
favorite.
Fey and they discovered comedy again.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, there was a Black Santa. Just let him be Black Santa. That was good. That was funny.
That
I
was a
mean, I
good
love
one.
Keenan. I love Keenan. He's always my favorite.
Oh yeah, Keenan is phenomenal. Ah, but Justin, we have reached the end of Obsession and our red shirt death toll. Wow, we're up to 21 now.
Yes, spiked. Okay, how many was that? That was five, right? Five?
Five in
Five.
total.
Five in total. I think that's the most. That's got to be a record, right?
I think it's a record for the number of specific red shirt deaths. I don't think this episode has the highest body count.
Oh,
Or
really?
it
Oh,
might though,
okay.
because there are some deaths that are implied on screen, but we don't know if they're red shirts or not.
True. Fair. That is fair.
So we can't necessarily count. I think this episode might have the highest body count. Well, everybody, hopefully you enjoyed Obsession. That is a sentence I never thought I would say.
I mean, who doesn't enjoy a little obsession?
A little. Kirk had a lot, but
It hit a lot.
we're in for a treat in the next episode.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, Justin, next week we're watching one of my personal favorite episodes, Wolf in the Fold. Would you like to take a stab?
Oh, Wolf in the Fold.
Trek fans know what I just did there on accident. Would you like to take a stab at what we're going to see
I mean, well,
in next
Wolf in the
week's episode?
Fold is very clearly a trader style. If you're familiar with the trader style game of like a werewolf or like a secret Hitler, where you have to discern who is the traitor and who is doing this stabbing in a group of people. What have been stabbed? One of them have been stabbed, and it's a mystery who done the stabbing.
You're almost there. There is a suspect who maintains his innocence throughout the entire episode, but it is a mystery, and there are several stabbings. So I'm
There's more than one stabbing.
I'm gonna give you like 90% there. Oh, there's
Oh,
multiple stabbings.
I'll take that because it was Wolf in the Fold. I was like Wolf in the Fold is like sheep, fold, sheep, wolf. That's why I went one lone wolf, but multiples. All right, all right. I'll take the 90%. I'm down with the
but
90%.
boy, there's a twist.
Ooh, loving a twist. Big
It's like
twist.
an Oliver twist, but much less happy, but same country.
Oliver
At least
Twist isn't.
at least I think doesn't Oliver Twist take place in England?
I'm
Or
gonna
is it
be
New
real
York?
honest with you. I'm pretty sure it's England. My only experience with Oliver Twist is that one episode of South Park with Pip. That's it. That's all I know. I've never actually read. I'm pretty sure it's England because he's a Cockney child.
Yeah, because he's like, please, sir, I want some more. Takes place in London, England.
Yeah.
So I was right. So join us next week, and you're definitely going to want to set your phasers to fun for that episode when we go over Wolf in the Fold. Justin, you will have a lot of notes, and the ending will have you scratching your head in the
I
best
just
way
realized
possible.
I just realized Pip is from Great Expectations, not Oliver Twist. What am I
Oh,
talking
you're
about?
right. Yeah. Yeah. Solid book though.
Never read it.
It's underrated.
Old
It's
Victorian
not
era, as far as old
it's
Victorian era literature goes.
I was gonna say it's not conventionally good, but if you're into stories that really dive into psychology and like emotional, emotional abuse, like for lack of a
Yeah.
better term,
That
it's quite good. But yes, join us next week for Wolf in the Fold. We're gonna have a lot of fun naming that episode,
get
and
excited.
we will see you guys next week. But until then, watch long and prosper. But it's always funny to me when people are like, Star Trek's gone woke. I'm like, have you watched it ever?
The lawyer is Piglet. I recognized his voice instantly.
The furthest I get memorized is 3.14159, and that's because of a joke from Third Rock from the Sun.